There's 104 days of summer vacation, and school comes along just to end it. So the annual problem of the younger generations is finding a good way to spend it. My little cousin loved Phineas and Ferb when I babysat him, and so I wound up watching an unreasonable amount throughout time. I've not been a person who's really appreciated summer vacation as a concept since my grade school days, since I graduated high school. Not only after that point did I not go on any sort of real vacations or anything anyway, so the vacation aspect was just a break from school or whatever. I then went on to college, where I was almost always doing at least one class or two during summer session, and I got a job wherein I definitely was still working during the summer. Move on after I finish college and start working for myself. There is no real vacation when you're self-employed. Summer vacation as a concept ceased to exist to me. And yet, I'm suddenly thrust right back into it. My kiddo just started school, and like 2 days before his school started did I realize that feeling of, holy crap, I only have 2 days of summer left. And I've never really felt that before in a very long time. Now in high school, like I said, in high school, my parents would try to take us on some sort of vacation-y kind of thing. I would spend, high school and younger. I would spend all summer, gaming it out, playing games, playing tabletop games, hanging out with friends, running around outside, riding bikes, riding skateboards, lighting off fireworks, going swimming, all those normal things. But as I turned into a boring adult, summer was just the hot period where I had to have my AC on more and the power bill was more expensive, but I was still doing mostly the same thing. I got to have more opportunities to do things like spray paint and do some sort of outdoor projects or whatever, but there was no structured shift in my life to it. And I'm realizing that even though I saw that as an advantage at one point, because I used to always be like, well, I could just take whenever off, and it would be fine. I think there is a pretty significant advantage to it. I'm realizing that it does help you structure things more, because something I always struggle with the past 10 or so years has been that feeling that the fall and holidays really sneak up on you, that everything after early spring speeds by, and I really lose track of time every year. And this has been a recurring problem year after year, and I usually, before I started Lost Saves, I was still doing my annual old school gaming commentary like I'm doing here, where I would just, talk about watching C Nanners comms again and, how I go back to this every year. Before I started a whole channel dedicated to this, I'd just throw it on a random side channel. But it comes from that place of the fall sneaking up on me. And that happens because I don't have any structured, appreciation for the summertime. There's no structured interaction with that season change. And I very much just look forward to it being over so I can start wearing pants and hoodies again and don't have to have my AC blasting in my workspace over and over, because that becomes a fairly big problem when you do something that involves crucial audio recording all the time and listening to things. But I'm seeing now the advantage of having, even if you're a boring adult like I am, even if you just have a job or you work for yourself or whatever, finding some way to structure your life in that you can at least acknowledge that it is the block of summertime. I don't know if that looks like if you're a fellow content creator, doing some sort of summer themed thing, making absolutely certain that you as a family go and appreciate the outdoors, go swimming, do something you have access to. I'm not suggesting everyone go on vacation. Most people can't afford that. We haven't really gone on any sort of real vacation in a long time that wasn't work related. By all means, but some sort of way to structure those shifts. And for me, I was just forced into it because my kiddo started school, so suddenly I'm realizing it, but immediately it makes me start realizing and accepting that we're transitioning into fall. In my area, it stays really hot most years until the end of September, so fall kind of starts late. But all the retail places and everything start pulling all their Halloween stuff out, or at least slowly start trickling it out at the start of August. It starts shifting away from grilling and swimming season to getting ready for Halloween. And that always made me uncomfortable before. And I think it's because I wasn't processing that things were changing. And yeah, it might seem silly. I think it's silly to spend over a month preparing for Halloween, almost 2, 3 full months. But it's those signals. It's the hints along the way that it's happening that really makes the difference here, I think. And so I want to work on that moving forward. Obviously, I'm in a position now where it's somewhat decided for me, but I think even outside of just having to take my kiddo to school, putting more meaning and thought, not to get like spiritual on y'all, but like putting some effort in to internally like recognize the changing of the seasons and how that affects, I get to see how it affects the world around me. And we try to do gardening in the summer and it usually fails miserably because things get too hot and humid and we struggle to keep up with it and whatever. But, having some appreciation for the seasonal changes within me and within the structure of how I run my life so that I can better handle the transitions to fall. Because I think I'm too caught off guard by, holy crap, the year has sped away and now it's fall time and I'm not ready. And where did the time go? I spend many years way too caught off guard by that to appreciate it as it's happening. And then it feels like I get like 3 weeks to a month of fall and then it's wintertime and everything's boring again. I think it's really healthy to just embrace that change. I don't know. I've over on the main channel, which would be more appropriate when it comes to like tech stuff. I've always avoided the back to school tech content. I never found it engaging. I never found it worthwhile. It's mostly just affiliate link hawking and I could make money from that, but I just don't like doing it. But between like this realization and there are some applications to it of gaming, I think there's some way to do it. So this might be an evolving conversation. If you have ideas or how you kind of approach and appreciate the seasons in your life, let me know in the comments. And otherwise, remember to be kind, rewind, and enjoy the last little bit of summer that you have left. See ya.